All right, we're going to start with creating a new project application, and I'm going to add a couple of scroll boxes to the form. And what we're going to do is try to demonstrate the difference between image and TPaintBox. So I'm going to drop an image into this scroll box and a TPaintBox into this. So using the scroll box, we can demonstrate the different ways they interact with the forms. So what I'll do is just align this. So we're going to do the top left corner, and we'll do the same thing for this one. And I'll change a few properties in the scroll box. So we're going to change the scroll bar smooth and tracking. So this will make it more responsive. So instead of the default properties, if you move the scroll bar, it will only update when you release it. This will update constantly, and this will make it smoother. And we'll do the same for the vertical scroll bar. And we'll do the same thing for the second scroll bar. And let's see if we get anything at this point. So we have two scroll bars, but nothing drawn inside. And what I'll do next is I will create the image dynamically, and same thing for the TPaintBox. So if we go into events for the form, we want to change the on create, and this is where we're going to size our image 1, width 1000, image 1, height 1000, and we'll do the same thing for TPaintBox. All right, so let's run this. And we have still very similar functions happening. And let's draw something, and this is where we'll see a change. So we will draw on the image canvas. So we select canvas. Let's change the brush color. Let's choose red. And let's draw a rectangle. Let's start at 10, go to 200, and let's see if that works. Yep. So now this is where we'll see the difference. Let's try and do the same thing for TPaintBox. So let's just copy this. And I'll just change the name here to TPaintBox. And let's try and see if it works. And nope, we don't get anything here. And that's because anything you draw in TPaintBox, unless you have defined an on paint routine, nothing will be drawn. So let's create that. So I'm going to click on the TPaintBox 1 here, and if we go to Advanced, scroll down on Paint, let's just copy this from here and paste it here, and let's see if that makes any difference. So now we have a working paint box and a working image that's scrollable, but there's a big difference. So anything you draw in the image is persistent. Anything you draw on the paint box, you have to constantly redraw it. So you have to keep track of what you want drawn, and in your paint routine, you have to draw everything from scratch basically. Meanwhile, with the image, it's handled all automatically. Whenever you update the contents of the bitmap, um, by drawing either in the canvas or using the uh, the picture properties to load an image from either a clipboard or file, it'll get updated automatically. So you think at this point, why even use the paint box, since the TImage is so much more powerful? It allows you to do so much more things, and it keeps track of everything that's drawn to it. Well, one reason is that it can only handle so much in terms of size. Paintbox is not limited by the size, so what you can have, you can increase this to 100,000 and it'll work just fine. So we can take a look, and it still works just fine. Now if we try and do the same thing for image, let's see what happens. And nothing seems to be happening. It's failed silently. So let's just close that. Let's reduce this down to 50,000 and see if that works. So we managed to get a form in our scroll box is drawn, but our image is not. There's no image there at all. And that's because it's still too big, but it failed silently. Let's drop this down to 26,000. And I know for a fact this will work because I know once you go 27,000 and above, it doesn't work. So, yep, it works just fine. Now, maybe you think, well, 27,000 pixels by 27,000 pixels is a good size, but no. If we switch to compiling this as a 32-bit application, there's even more limitations on the image. Let's go to project options and add a 32-bit compile option here. Let's do Win32 and target Win32 processor i386. So if we compile this now, see it says Win32 here. And we got an exception. So that's because it's still too big. Let's break out of this. So what size does work? I think if we go down to 17,000 pixels, it should work. And yes, it does. So these are things you don't easily discover until you try to write an application and you've chosen the wrong thing to choose, the wrong thing to use. You should have used a paint box instead of image, or you used image instead of a paint box. So hopefully this kind of clears up a few things. This is one of the things I had problems figuring out at first. So I hope my little demonstration didn't confuse you even more, but basically use image if you have a small or relatively small size and you want to take advantage of saving and loading images and not have to worry about managing so much, and use PaintBox if you want to use a bigger image area and you want to manage all the drawing. So that's it for this video, and thanks for watching.